Hello, my friend. Take a moment. Just breathe. Feel the air coming in and going out. Feel your body here, right now. You are safe, you are calm, and you are ready for a new story. Maybe you are sitting in your favorite chair. Maybe you are drinking tea. Maybe you are in the kitchen getting ready to cook. Wherever you are, welcome. This time is yours. Now, think about your kitchen. What do you see? Maybe some vegetables. Maybe some fruit. Maybe a can of tomatoes. Tomatoes are everywhere. We put them on pizza. We put them in pasta. We put them in salads, in soups, in sandwiches. We eat them fresh, cooked, dried, crushed. It is hard to imagine food without tomatoes. But here is the strange truth. 500 years ago, nobody in Europe had ever seen a tomato. And when they first saw it, they did not want to eat it. They were afraid of it. They called it the poison apple. Why? Why would people be afraid of a simple fruit? What made the tomato so scary? Today, we are going on a journey across oceans and through time. We are going to discover how a small red fruit went from poison to pizza, from feared to famous. So sit back, relax, and keep that warm cup close. This is the story of why Europe feared the poison apple, the tomato. Our story begins far from Europe, far from Italy, far from France, far from Spain. It begins in South America, in the mountains of the Andes, in a country we now call Peru. Thousands of years ago, wild tomatoes grew there. They were small, much smaller than the tomatoes we know today. They grew on vines, like little red berries. The people who lived there, the ancestors of the Incas, noticed these small fruits. They picked them, they tasted them. They found that they were good, not too sweet, not too sour, just right. They began to grow them in their gardens. They learned to cook with them. The tomato became part of their food. For thousands of years, the tomato stayed in South America. The rest of the world did not know it existed. Then, in the year 1492, everything changed. A man named Christopher Columbus sailed across the ocean. He was looking for a new way to reach Asia, but instead, he found America. After Columbus, many Spanish explorers went to the New World. They wanted gold. They wanted land. They wanted power. They found all of these things, but they also found something else: new foods: corn, potatoes, chocolate, peanuts, vanilla, and tomatoes. When the Spanish explorers first saw tomatoes, they were curious. They saw the local people eating them. They saw them growing in gardens. They tasted them. Some of them liked the taste. They thought, "This is interesting. Maybe we should take this back to Europe." And so, around the year 1520, the tomato crossed the ocean for the first time. It arrived in Spain. Nobody knew it then, but the world was about to change. At first, people in Spain did not know what to do with a tomato. It was new. It was strange. They had never seen anything like it. Some people grew it in their gardens because it looked pretty. The bright red color was beautiful. But eat it? They were not sure. The tomato was a member of the nightshade family. This is important. The nightshade family includes some very dangerous plants: deadly nightshade, mandrake, plants that could kill you. When Europeans looked at the tomato, they saw a nightshade, and they thought, "This plant looks like poison. Maybe it is poison." Rich people ate from plates made of pewter. Pewter is a metal. It has a lot of lead in it. When you put acidic food on pewter plates, the lead can come out of the metal and get into the food. This can make people very sick. It can even kill them. Tomatoes are acidic. So when rich people ate tomatoes on their pewter plates, they got sick. Sometimes they died. But they did not know about the lead. They did not know about the plates. They only knew, "I ate this new fruit, and now I am sick. The fruit must be poison." So the tomato got a bad name, a very bad name. People called it the poison apple. They believed that eating it would make you sick. They believed it could kill you. For more than 200 years, most Europeans were afraid of the tomato. They grew it in their gardens as a decoration. It was pretty to look at, but eat it? No, thank you. Too dangerous. But some people were braver. In Italy, in Spain, in the countryside, poor people looked at the tomato differently. They did not have fancy pewter plates. They ate from wooden bowls or clay dishes. When they ate tomatoes, they did not get sick. They thought, the rich people say this fruit is poison, but we eat it and we are fine. Maybe it is not poison after all. So the poor people kept eating tomatoes. They put them in their soups. They cooked them with bread. They found that tomatoes made food taste better. In Italy, tomatoes found a perfect home. The sun was warm, the soil was good. Tomatoes grew well there. Italian cooks began to experiment. They discovered that tomatoes could be dried in the sun. They could be cooked into sauces. They could be put on bread. They could be eaten with cheese, with herbs, with oil. Slowly, tomatoes became part of Italian cooking. But for a long time, most people still did not trust them. In England, in France, in Germany, people called them love apples or wolf peaches. Some people thought they made you fall in love. Others thought they turned you into a wolf. Strange ideas, yes. But that shows you how mysterious the tomato seemed. The person who changed everything was a man named Antonio Latini. Antonio lived in Italy in the 1600s. He was a chef. He worked for rich people. He loved food. He loved to experiment. In 1692, Antonio wrote a cookbook. In this book, he included something new, something never seen before, a recipe for tomato sauce. His recipe was simple. Take tomatoes, cut them into pieces, cook them with onions, chili peppers, and salt. Cook for a long time until it becomes thick. This was the first tomato sauce recipe in history. Antonio did not know it, but he was changing the world. He was telling people, it is safe. You can eat tomatoes. Here is how to cook them. More and more people began to try tomatoes. They found that cooking made them taste even better. They found that tomatoes could be stored in jars for winter. They found that tomatoes made food come alive. By the 1700s, tomatoes were common in Italy. By the 1800s, they had spread across Europe. But the biggest moment was still to come. In the 1880s, in the city of Naples, Italy, something amazing happened. Naples was a poor city. Many people lived on the streets. They needed food that was cheap, fast, and filling. They already had pizza flatbread with oil and cheese. But one day, someone had an idea that would change everything. Put tomatoes on the pizza. Not just any tomatoes, special tomatoes. Tomatoes grown in the soil near Mount Vesuvius. These tomatoes were sweet and rich. People cooked them into a sauce. They put the sauce on the pizza. They added cheese. They added basil green leaves that smell like summer. The colors were perfect. Red sauce, white cheese, green basil, the colors of the Italian flag. They called it Pizza Margherita, after the Queen of Italy. And the world fell in love. From Naples, pizza spread across Italy, then across Europe, then across the world. And everywhere pizza went, tomatoes went with it. Today, pizza is one of the most popular foods on earth. And without tomatoes, pizza would not exist. It would just be bread with cheese. Good, but not the same. The poison apple had become the king of the kitchen. Today, we cannot imagine life without tomatoes. We eat more than 100 million tons of tomatoes every year. That is a lot of tomatoes. Enough to fill 1 million swimming pools. We grow tomatoes everywhere. In fields, in greenhouses, in gardens, in pots on balconies. People grow tomatoes in Italy, in China, in America, in India, in countries all around the world. We eat them in so many ways. Fresh in salads, cooked in sauces, dried in the sun, crushed in cans, as juice, as soup, as ketchup. Think about ketchup for a moment. Ketchup is on tables everywhere. In diners, in homes, in restaurants. People put it on burgers, on fries, on eggs, and ketchup is made from tomatoes. Think about pasta sauce, spaghetti, lasagna. All of these need tomatoes. Think about pizza. Without tomatoes, pizza would be empty bread. The tomato is everywhere. It is the world's most popular fruit. Yes, fruit. Botanically, the tomato is a fruit, but we cook it like a vegetable. It does not matter. What matters is that we love it, and it all started with a fruit that people called poison. So why did Europe fear the tomato? For 3 reasons. First, the tomato looked like other plants that were poisonous. People saw a nightshade, and they thought danger. Second, rich people ate tomatoes on pewter plates. The lead in the plates mixed with the acid in the tomatoes. People got sick. They blamed the tomato, not the plate. Third, the tomato was new. It was strange. People are often afraid of new things. It takes time to trust something different. But brave people, poor people, curious cooks, hungry families kept trying. They discovered that tomatoes were not poison. They were delicious. They were safe. They were a gift. And slowly, the poison apple became the world's favorite food. When you learn English, you might feel like the tomato sometimes. Maybe people told you English is too hard. Maybe you tried to speak and made mistakes. Maybe someone laughed at your accent. Maybe you felt like English was poison, dangerous, scary, something to avoid. But here is the truth. English is not poison. It is beautiful. It is delicious. It opens doors. It connects you to millions of people around the world. Just like the tomato, English might seem strange at first, but the more you try, the more you taste, the more you will love it. And one day, you will look back and laugh. You will remember when you were afraid, and you will see how far you have come. The tomato was called poison. Now, it feeds the world. Your English might feel scary now, but one day it will take you everywhere. Thank you for listening to this story today. I hope you enjoyed this journey through the history of the tomato. I hope it helped you with your English learning too. If you liked this story, please give it a like. It helps more people find our channel. If you want to hear more stories like this about food, about history, about the surprising secrets of everyday things, please subscribe. Your support helps us create more content for your English journey. And if you have ideas for other stories, please leave a comment below. I would love to know what you want to learn next. Until next time, my friend, keep learning, keep trying, and remember, even the things that seem scary at first can become your favorite. Just ask the tomato. See you soon.